Out here, in the profound silence between worlds, distance becomes a kind of prayer. We drift through the cosmic cathedral, where light travels for millions of years just to whisper its secrets to our eyes. And there, suspended like a perfect teardrop in the vast emptiness, hangs our home. From this vantage point, Earth seems almost impossibly delicate. A sapphire marble lost in an ocean of night. Carl Sagan called it our pale blue dot. And from here, one cannot help but wonder, could something so beautiful, so precisely balanced, truly be the product of cosmic chance? As we draw nearer, details emerge that challenge our assumptions about accidents and inevitability. The colors seem too vivid, the patterns too harmonious, the whole composition too intentional. Like a masterpiece hanging in an infinite gallery, witnessed by no one save the stars themselves. But as we approach our pale blue sanctuary, questions begin to surface like bubbles in champagne. What if this jewel of the cosmos bears not the chaotic signatures of chance, but the elegant hallmarks of design? In the gentle mathematics of celestial mechanics, Earth occupies a position of extraordinary privilege. Not too close to our star, where oceans would boil away into the cosmic wind. Not too distant, where all would freeze into crystalline silence. But here, in this narrow band astronomers call the Goldilocks zone, liquid water can exist. Consider the profound intimacy of this arrangement. Water, that most essential of molecules, can dance between its three states within the gentle temperature range our planet provides. Ice crystals form delicate patterns on winter windows. Steam rises like prayers from morning tea. And liquid water, that miraculous solvent, carries life through every vessel, every cell, every dream. The mathematical precision required for such balance astounds the mind. A few million kilometers closer to the sun, and we become Venus, a hellish greenhouse wrapped in toxic clouds. A few million kilometers further, and we become Mars, a frozen museum of what might have been. Yet here we are, positioned with the precision of a master jeweler setting a precious stone. One might wonder whether such exquisite placement could truly be coincidental, or whether unseen hands guided our world to this perfect orbital dance. But this perfect distance is merely the opening note in a symphony of extraordinary specifications, each more improbable than the last. In the quiet hours when Luna shows her full face, something ancient stays within us. Our celestial companion, unusually large for a planet's moon, maintains a gravitational dialogue with Earth that shapes not merely our tides, but the very rhythm of life itself. The moon's pull creates a breathing of our oceans, twice daily inhalations that may have provided the gentle mixing necessary for life's earliest chemistry. In these tidal pools, between the kiss of salt water and the caress of air, the first complex molecules learn their delicate dance. But Luna's influence extends far beyond the choreography of tides. Our moon is responsible for stabilizing Earth's axial tilt, preventing the wild wobbling that would create catastrophic climate swings. Without this steady presence, our seasons will be chaotic, our climate unpredictable, our world perhaps uninhabitable. And then there are the eclipses, those moments when our moon, through an extraordinary coincidence of size and distance, can exactly cover the sun's bright disk. The probability of such perfect alignment occurring naturally staggers the imagination. It's as if the cosmos arranged a cosmic theater, complete with the most spectacular light show in the known universe. Ancient people saw omens and eclipses, divine messages written across the heavens. Perhaps they intuited something we're only beginning to understand, that such precise celestial choreography might indeed carry deeper meaning than mere gravitational mechanics would suggest. The moon's influence extends far deeper than tides and light, into the very fabric of biological time, the cycles that govern sleep and wakefulness, reproduction and renewal. Could such intimate connection be the product of cosmic accident, or something more purposeful? Beneath our feet, 2,000 kilometers down through solid rock and liquid metal, something extraordinary happens. In the heart of our planet, molten iron swirls in patterns more complex than any ballet, generating the invisible force field that makes Earth habitable. This magnetic embrace wraps our entire world, extending tens of thousands of kilometers into space, deflecting the solar wind that would otherwise strip away our precious atmosphere. Mars, lacking such protection, slowly bleeds its air into the cosmic void. Venus, with weak magnetism, suffers beneath crushing atmospheric pressure. But we are shielded. The charged particles of solar storms, enough energy to sterilize a planet, are gently guided around us, like water flowing around a stone. Some particles slip through near the poles, painting the sky with aurora light, as if the Earth was signing a protection in colors of impossible beauty. The precision required for this protection seems almost impossibly fine-tuned. The iron core must be liquid but not gaseous. It must spin at just the right speed to maintain the dynamo effect. The magnetic field must be strong enough to deflect harm, yet gentle enough not to disrupt the delicate chemistry of life. One cannot help but wonder, could such a sophisticated protection system, more elegant than any human technology, arise purely through chance? Or does the Earth's magnetic embrace suggest something more deliberate, a planetary security system designed to nurture whatever precious cargo lives upon the surface? This magnetic cradle not only protects us from cosmic harm, but may have been calibrated with the precision of a master craftsman, creating conditions for something even more extraordinary than mere survival. If consciousness were to design the perfect medium for life, it might well invent something like water. This simple molecule, two atoms of hydrogen embracing one of oxygen, possesses properties so unusual, so perfectly suited for life, that it seems almost too convenient to be mere coincidence. Water breaks the rules. Most substances shrink when they freeze, becoming denser as they cool. But water expands, becoming less dense as ice. This anomaly means ice floats, creating an insulating layer that prevents bodies of water from freezing solid, preserving life beneath winter's crystal ceiling. Without this peculiar property, every winter would bring death to aquatic ecosystems. Lakes and oceans would freeze from the bottom up, becoming solid blocks of ice that might never fully thaw. Life as we know it could not exist. Water is also nature's universal solvent, dissolving more substances than any other liquid. This allows it to carry nutrients into living cells and waste products away, to transport minerals through soil, to enable the countless chemical reactions that sustain life. Yet it dissolves selectively, maintaining cell membranes and protein structures that water-based life requires. And uniquely on Earth, water exists naturally in all three states: solid ice, liquid water, and gaseous vapor, within the narrow temperature range our planet provides. This triple-state existence drives weather patterns, ocean currents, and the water cycle that distributes life's essential ingredient across the entire globe. The probability of finding such a perfect life-supporting substance occurring naturally approaches the miraculous. It's as if water was specifically designed to be the medium in which consciousness might emerge, grow, and contemplate its own extraordinary fortune. Yet water's mysteries deepen when we consider how it arrived on our planet, against all odds, carrying within its molecular structure the very blueprint for biological possibility. Wrapped around our world like a gossamer veil, Earth's atmosphere provides not merely air to breathe, but a masterwork of environmental engineering. This thin shell of gas, if Earth were an apple, the atmosphere would be thinner than its skin, maintains conditions for life with extraordinary precision. 21% oxygen, enough to energize complex life, but not so much that everything would spontaneously combust. 78% nitrogen, innate, providing stability and pressure without interfering with delicate biological chemistry. Traces of other gases, each playing crucial roles in maintaining Earth's delicate balance. This gaseous mixture didn't arise in isolation. It represents a conversation between living systems and planetary chemistry that has continued for billions of years. Plants exhale oxygen, animals breathe it and return carbon dioxide. Bacteria process nitrogen. The atmosphere and life evolve together in an intricate dance of mutual creation. The atmosphere also provides Earth's greenhouse effect, not the runaway warming that makes Venus uninhabitable, but a gentle thermal blanket that keeps our world warm enough for liquid water. Carbon dioxide, often vilified, actually prevents Earth from being a frozen snowball drifting through space. This aerial ocean protects us from meteors, most of which burn up harmlessly as shooting stars. It distributes heat from equator to pole through wind patterns and ocean currents. It carries water vapor from oceans to continents, enabling life to flourish far from the sea. The mathematical precision required to maintain such atmospheric balance seems to exceed the capabilities of random processes. Each component must be present in exactly the right proportion, maintained by feedback systems more sophisticated than any human engineering. This atmospheric architecture serves purposes that reach far beyond mere survival, creating the very stage upon which consciousness can emerge, grow, and eventually look up at the stars with wonder. In the profound depths where sunlight never reaches, the Earth reveals one of its most elegant mechanisms. Along underwater mountain ranges that dwarf any terrestrial peaks, new ocean floor is born in a process so slow that entire human civilizations rise and fall between each meaningful movement. The dance of tectonic plates, vast sections of Earth's crust floating on the molten mantle below, represents planetary engineering on an almost incomprehensible scale. Continents drift like sleeping giants, sometimes colliding to build mountain ranges, sometimes pulling apart to create new ocean basins. This geological ballet serves purposes far beyond mere landscape sculpting. Plate tectonics acts as Earth's thermostat, recycling carbon through the rock cycle, preventing our planet from either freezing like Mars or overheating like Venus. When continents collide, they expose fresh rock to weathering, which removes carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. When they separate, volcanic activity returns carbon to the air. Without this planetary recycling system, Earth's climate would long ago have become uninhabitable. The delicate balance between ice ages and greenhouse periods requires constant adjustment, constant renewal. Plate tectonics provides this adjustment with the patience of geological time and the precision of a master clockmaker. This moving crust also enriches the surface with minerals essential for life, bringing up iron, phosphorus, and countless other elements from the deep earth. The same forces that occasionally cause earthquakes and volcanic eruptions are also responsible for the mineral diversity that makes complex life possible. The probability that such a sophisticated planetary recycling system would arise by chance seems vanishingly small. It requires the right planet size, the right internal heat, the right crustal thickness, the right chemical composition. Yet here it operates, maintaining Earth's habitability with mechanical precision wrapped in geological poetry. These moving plates may be the gears of an even grander mechanism, a planetary machine designed not just to maintain habitability, but to create the ever-changing landscapes that would challenge and inspire emerging consciousness. There is something deeply satisfying about the Earth's gentle tilt, 23.5 degrees from vertical, just enough to create the seasons without extremes. This cosmic choreography brings renewal, migration, and the psychological rhythms that have shaped every culture, every story, every human heart. Without seasons, life might exist, but it would lack the poetry of change. No spring awakening, no summer abundance, no autumn harvest, no winter's contemplative sleep. The seasonal cycle teaches patience, hope, and the wisdom that all things pass and come again. This axial tilt appears almost intentionally moderate. Too little, and Earth would lack climatic variety, becoming monotonously uniform. Too much, and seasons would be catastrophically extreme, scorching summers and deadly winters that would challenge any complex ecosystem. The seasons also affect Earth's magnetic field and its interaction with solar radiation. During equinoxes, when day and night are equal, geomagnetic activity increases, as if the Earth itself recognizes these moments of cosmic balance. Seasonal rhythms regulate the internal clocks of countless species. Migration routes span continents, timed to seasonal changes with precision that suggests deep biological wisdom. Hibernation patterns allow life to survive harsh winters. Reproductive cycles ensure that young are born when conditions are most favorable. Human cultures, too, have organized themselves around seasonal cycles. Our ancestors marked solstices and equinoxes, created calendars, developed agriculture, and built societies that honor the rhythm of seasonal change. These cycles seem woven into our consciousness as deeply as they are woven into the fabric of the Earth itself. This seasonal dance awakens something deeper than mere biological necessity, an internal clock that connects all living things to the cosmic rhythm of our planet's journey around the sun. In every cell of every living thing lies the most sophisticated information storage system known to science. DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, writes the instruction manual for life using just 4 chemical letters, creating complexity that exceeds any human library, any computer system, any work of literature ever conceived. These 4 bases, adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine, combine in sequences that can specify every detail of a butterfly's wing pattern, a human's eye color, a tree's response to seasonal change. The amount of information contained in a single human genome exceeds that of the Encyclopedia Britannica by several orders of magnitude. Yet this biological library includes error correction mechanisms more sophisticated than any human technology. When DNA replicates, molecular proofreaders check each copy, correcting mistakes with an accuracy rate that will be the envy of any computer programmer. Without such precision, complex life could not maintain its integrity across generations. All life on Earth uses essentially the same genetic code, a universal language that allows genes to be transferred between the most distantly related species. This universality suggests either common ancestry or common design principles that transcend the boundaries between different forms of life. Much of our genetic material was once dismissed as junk DNA, non-coding regions with no apparent function. But recent research reveals these regions may contain regulatory switches, evolutionary memories, and information processing systems we don't yet understand. Could these apparently unused portions of our genetic library contain hidden instructions, dormant programs waiting for activation? Even more mysteriously, environmental factors can influence which genes are expressed without changing the DNA sequence itself. This suggests that our genetic library is not just a fixed instruction manual, but a dynamic system capable of responding to environmental cues in real time. The probability that such an information-rich, error-corrected, environmentally responsive system could arise purely by chance approaches zero. It's as if life carries within itself a cosmic programming language, complete with debugging systems and upgrade capabilities. Yet this biological library may be just one volume in a much larger cosmic collection, a universal code that connects not just all life on Earth, but perhaps life throughout the cosmos. In the heart of a seashell, mathematics becomes art. The Nautilus builds its chambers according to a ratio known as a golden mean, approximately 1.618, creating a spiral that appears throughout nature with almost suspicious frequency. Look closely at a sunflower's face, and you will count spirals of seeds arranged in patterns of 21, 34, 55, or 89, consecutive numbers in the Fibonacci sequence, where each number is the sum of the two preceding ones. This same sequence appears in pine cone scales, flower petal arrangements, and the branching patterns of trees. Scale up by billions of times, and galaxies sweep their arms through space in the same golden spirals that appear in seashells and flowers. Scale down to the microscopic level, and DNA itself twists in a double helix with proportions that echo the golden ratio. The human body participates in this mathematical symphony. The ratio of the length of your arm to your forearm, the proportions of your face, the relationships between various bone lengths, all approximate the golden mean with remarkable consistency. Human art and architecture instinctively echo these proportions. The Parthenon, great cathedrals, and countless masterpiece paintings unconsciously employ golden ratio relationships that we find beautiful without knowing why. Even at the quantum level, mathematical constants like pi and the golden ratio appear in the equations that govern atomic behavior. It's as if reality itself is constructed from mathematical relationships, with consciousness emerging as a universe's way of appreciating its own elegant structure. The deeper we look, the more we discover that nature operates according to mathematical principles of extraordinary beauty and precision. Chaos theory reveals that even seemingly random systems follow underlying patterns. Fractal geometry shows how infinite complexity can arise from simple rules. These mathematical whispers seem to be trying to tell us something about the true nature of reality, that beneath the apparent chaos of existence lies an underlying order, a cosmic code written in the language of mathematics itself. In the soft cathedral of the human brain, something miraculous occurs every moment of every day. Matter, ordinary carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen, somehow becomes aware of itself. Atoms that were forged in the hearts of ancient stars now contemplate their own existence with wonder and bewilderment. Through human consciousness, the universe developed eyes to see its own beauty, mind to ponder its own mystery, hearts to feel at its own grandeur. We are matter awakening to itself, asking questions that no other known form of matter has ever asked. The emergence of consciousness remained perhaps the greatest puzzle in science. How does the firing of neurons create the subjective experience of being? How does electrochemical activity in neural networks give rise to love, wonder, creativity, and the deep sense that there is something it is like to be conscious? What makes consciousness even more remarkable is its apparent inevitability on Earth. Despite the astronomical improbabilities involved, matter organized itself into increasingly complex patterns, from simple molecules to cells, from cells to nervous systems, from nervous systems to minds capable of contemplating the cosmos itself. Consciousness doesn't merely observe reality. It creates meaning, finds beauty, seeks purpose. It transforms random sensory input into symphonies, mathematical equations into poetry, stellar light into wonder. Through consciousness, the universe becomes not just physical, but meaningful. Yet consciousness seems strangely independent of its physical substrate. Near-death experiences, meditation states, and certain neurological conditions suggest that awareness might exist in ways that transcend simple brain activity. Could consciousness be less a product of matter than a fundamental feature of reality itself? If consciousness was not an accident but the intended outcome of Earth's design, then every aspect of our planet's extraordinary habitability suddenly takes on new meaning. The magnetic field, the perfect distance from the sun, the unusual properties of water, all will be components in a cosmic system designed to nurture awareness. But if consciousness was a goal, then every aspect of Earth design, from quantum mechanics to galactic positioning, becomes part of an integrated system for creating beings capable of wonder, love, and the deep desire to understand their place in the cosmic story. In the patient pages of stone, Earth records a story of life's journey through deep time. Yet this geological library contains chapters that puzzle even the most careful readers, period when life appears to have leaped forward in great bounds, rather than crawling along the gradual path that theory predicts. 540 million years ago, something extraordinary happened. In what geologists call the Cambrian explosion, complex life forms appeared in the fossil record with startling suddenness. Eyes, shells, segmented bodies, sophisticated nervous systems, innovations that seem to arise within a geological instant. Consider the trilobite's compound eye, hundreds of individual lenses working together to create vision more sophisticated than many modern creatures possess. These eyes appear fully formed in the earliest Cambrian rocks, with no evident evolutionary precursors. It's as if nature suddenly learned to see. Later, flowering plants burst onto the scene with similar abruptness, transforming terrestrial ecosystems in ways that reverberate to this day. The partnership between flowers and pollinators, the explosion of color and fragrance, the sophisticated chemistry of nectar and pollen, all appearing with remarkable coordination. The human lineage shows similar punctuated leaps. Brain size tripled in just 2 million years, a geological eye blink. Language, art, music, and symbolic thought appeared with stunning rapidity, as if some invisible switch had been thrown, activating latent potentials that had been waiting in our DNA. These punctuated leaps challenge the gradual accumulation of small changes that Darwin envisioned. Instead, they suggest that evolution might follow a more purposeful script, with major innovations appearing when conditions are right, as if guided by some invisible choreographer. Even more intriguingly, these evolutionary leaps often follow mass extinction events. It's as if periodic resets allow life to explore new possibilities, to try experiments that wouldn't be possible in stable ecosystems. Could these apparent catastrophes actually be features of a grander design? Modern molecular biology reveals that genetic systems are capable of rapid, coordinated changes, jumping genes, horizontal gene transfer, symbiotic mergers. Life possesses mechanisms for quantum leaps that Darwinian gradualism never anticipated. These punctuated patterns suggest that evolution itself might follow a predetermined script, with major transitions occurring when planetary conditions align with genetic potentials that have been quietly waiting for their moment to emerge. Descend into the heart of matter, beyond atoms and electrons, into the quantum realm where reality behaves more like a dream than a machine. Hey, particles exist in multiple states simultaneously until the moment of observation collapses them into definite properties. It's as if reality itself is participatory, requiring consciousness to make it real. In the famous double-slit experiment, particles behave differently when observed and when unobserved. A single photon can apparently pass through two slits simultaneously, creating an interference pattern with itself. But the moment we try to determine which slit it actually used, the interference pattern disappears. The act of observation fundamentally changes reality. Even stranger is quantum entanglement, where particles can be instantaneously connected across any distance. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance, but experiments confirm that measuring one entangled particle immediately affects its partner, regardless of the space between them. Information, it seems, transcends the speed of light. The quantum vacuum, what we think of as empty space, seized with virtual particles constantly appearing and disappearing. This suggests that existence is more fundamental than non-existence, that the default state of reality is created potential rather than empty void. At the quantum level, the distinction between matter and energy, between wave and particle, becomes meaningless. Everything exists in a state of pure potential until observation forces reality to choose specific properties. This suggests that consciousness might be more fundamental to reality than previously imagined. Quantum tunneling allows particles to pass through barriers that classical physics says should be impenetrable. Without this effect, the nuclear fusion that powers our sun will be impossible. Life itself depends on quantum processes that violate our everyday understanding of cause and effect. The measurement problem asks how quantum possibilities collapse into classical reality. Some interpretations suggest that consciousness itself is required to make this collapse occur. If true, then awareness isn't just an emergent property of matter, but a fundamental feature of how reality works. Recent theories propose that reality might be fundamentally informational rather than material, a cosmic computation where consciousness plays the role of both programmer and processor. If reality is information, then perhaps consciousness was always meant to be here to read the code. If reality responds to consciousness at the quantum level, then perhaps consciousness was always intended to be here, not as an accidental byproduct of evolution, but as a fundamental participant in the cosmic process of creation. Imagine a cosmic control room with dozens of fundamental dials, each governing a basic property of reality. The strength of gravity, the electromagnetic force, the rate of cosmic expansion, the mass of electrons, each constant precisely calibrated. Change any one by the smallest fraction, and the universe as we know it could not exist. Consider gravity. Too strong, and stars would burn out in millions rather than billions of years, too briefly for complex chemistry to develop. Too weak, and matter would never condense into stars at all, leaving a universe of cold, dispersed particles incapable of supporting any form of complexity. The strong nuclear force that holds atomic nuclei together must be calibrated with extraordinary precision. A 2% increase, and hydrogen would fuse so readily that none would remain to form water or power long-lived stars. A 5% decrease, and no elements heavier than hydrogen could exist. The formation of carbon, essential for life as we know it, requires what physicist Fred Hoyle called an extraordinary coincidence. A precise resonance in the carbon-12 nucleus allows 3 helium nuclei to combine at exactly the temperature found in stellar cores. Without this resonance, predicted by Hoyle specifically because carbon exists, the universe would contain essentially no carbon. The early universe's density must have been uniform to within 1 part in 100,000, smooth enough to prevent immediate collapse into black holes, yet lumpy enough to allow galaxies to form. This Goldilocks density appears to have been built into the cosmos from the first moments after the Big Bang. Dark energy, comprising 68% of the universe, drives cosmic expansion at precisely the rate needed to allow galaxy formation. Too fast, and matter would disperse before stars could form. Too slow, and the universe would collapse back on itself before complexity could emerge. The electron's mass and charge must be precisely balanced to create stable atoms with the right chemical properties. Alter these slightly, and chemistry as we know it becomes impossible, eliminating any possibility of complex molecular structures. Some physicists calculate that the probability of all these constants falling within life-permitting ranges by chance is less than 10 to the power of negative 120, a number so small it defies comprehension. It's as if reality's fundamental parameters were adjusted by a master engineer to create a universe capable of supporting consciousness. These cosmic dials seem to have been set with one specific outcome in mind: the emergence of complexity, life, and eventually consciousness capable of recognizing the extraordinary improbability of its own existence. Buried within Earth's crust lies a treasure trove that makes our technological civilization possible: concentrated deposits of rare elements that most planets lack. Silicon for computer chips, lithium for batteries, gold for electrical contacts, platinum for catalysts, as if our planet gathered the materials needed for an intelligent species to eventually reach for the stars. Every smartphone contains dozens of elements from across the periodic table: europium for red phosphors in screens, neodymium for tiny speakers, tantalum for capacitors. These elements exist in Earth's crust in concentrations that seem almost impossibly convenient for technological development. Many of these crucial elements came from asteroid impacts billions of years ago, cosmic deliveries that enriched our planet's accessible layers with materials essential for advanced chemistry. Without these ancient bombardments, the elements needed for biology and technology would remain locked in our planet's unreachable core. Earth's active geology continues its delivery process, bringing deep materials to the surface through volcanic activity and mountain building. Hydrothermal vents concentrate metal from seawater. Weathering and sedimentation create our deposits. It's as if the planet operates a sophisticated mining and refining system. Mars lacks its geological activity, leaving most of its rare elements inaccessible. Venus's extreme heat prevents the complex chemistry needed to concentrate useful materials. Gas giants hoard their elements in deep, high-pressure environments. Only Earth seems to have the right combination of size, temperature, and geological activity to create a periodic table paradise. The availability of these materials shaped human technological development in what seems like a carefully planned progression. Copper, bronze, and iron were available at exactly the complexity levels early civilizations could handle. More exotic materials became accessible as our technological sophistication increased. Even more remarkably, many rare earth elements are concentrated in deposits that were created by unique geological processes, carbonatite intrusions, pegmatite formations, placid deposits. These concentrations seem almost too convenient, as if the Earth prepared a technological toolkit for its future intelligent inhabitants. As if the planet itself was preparing for the day when its children would need the tools to become conscious co-creators, capable of nurturing life not just on Earth, but throughout the cosmos. In the heart of geodes and mountain caverns, matter organizes itself into geometric perfection. Crystals grow according to mathematical principles, creating structures that seem to bridge the gap between inorganic chemistry and organic complexity. Could these mineral matrices be the Earth's first attempt at information storage and processing? Silicon dioxide, ordinary quartz, oscillates at extraordinarily precise frequencies when stimulated by electricity. This piezoelectric property makes possible everything from watches to computers to radio communications. It's as if crystals were designed to be nature's timing devices and information processors. The atomic arrangements within crystals display mathematical perfection that rivals any human architecture. Each atom knows exactly where to position itself to create maximum stability and minimum energy. This self-organizing property seems to suggest an underlying intelligence within matter itself. Different crystal systems, cubic, hexagonal, tetragonal, represent distinct solutions to the problem of arranging atoms in stable, energy-efficient patterns. Each system seems to express different aspects of mathematical harmony, as if crystals are matter's attempt to create beauty through geometric precision. Liquid crystals can organize a molecular structure in response to electrical fields, making possible the displays we use in everything from calculators to televisions. This controllable organization suggests that crystalline structures might be capable of storing and processing information in ways we're only beginning to understand. Some crystals appear to grow in response to environmental conditions, temperature, pressure, chemical composition, as if they are recording information about their surroundings in their very structure. Could crystals be the Earth's geological memory system, storing information across vast timescales? The geometric forms of crystals echo the same mathematical relationships found throughout nature: golden ratios, Fibonacci sequences, platonic solids. It's as if crystals express in mineral form the same underlying mathematical principles that govern biological growth and cosmic structure. Human technology has learned to grow artificial crystals for specific purposes: computer chips, lasers, solar cells. We've discovered that by controlling crystal growth, we can create materials with precisely the properties we need. Did the Earth's natural crystal formations provide the template for this understanding? These geometric whispers from the mineral kingdom may be part of a planet-wide information network we're only beginning to decode, a crystalline internet that has been operating since the Earth first cooled and began its patient work of organizing matter into increasingly complex and beautiful forms. Beneath the forest floor, an internet of fungal threads connects tree roots in a vast cooperative network. Trees share nutrients, water, and chemical information through these mycorrhizal partnerships. The forest reveals itself not as a collection of competing individuals, but as a single, interconnected superorganism. Mother trees nurture their offspring through these networks, sending extra resources to young seedlings struggling in deep shade. When a tree is attacked by insects, it can warn its neighbors through chemical signals transmitted along the fungal connections. The forest survival strategy is cooperation, not competition. Within our own bodies, we carry more bacterial cells than human cells. These microscopic partners help us digest food, synthesize vitamins, regulate our immune systems, and even influence our moods and thoughts. We are not individuals, but walking ecosystems, dependent on the cooperative efforts of trillions of microscopic allies. Lichens, those colorful growths on rocks and tree bark, represent partnerships so intimate that for centuries scientists thought they were single organisms. Fungus provides structure and gathers moisture. Algae perform photosynthesis and provide food. Together, they can survive in environments where neither could exist alone. Coral reefs, those underwater gardens of extraordinary beauty and diversity, exist because of partnership. Coral animals provide shelter and nutrients to microscopic algae, which in return provide the corals with food through photosynthesis. This cooperation creates the most diverse ecosystems in the oceans. Throughout the natural world, partnerships flourish where competition theory would predict conflict. Cleaner fish remove parasites from much larger fish that could easily eat them. Flowers provide nectar to insects that help them reproduce. Seeds travel in the guts of animals that benefit from their nutrition. Even fundamental biological processes depend on cooperation. Plants cannot use atmospheric nitrogen directly, but bacteria living in their roots can convert it to usable forms. This bacterial gift makes possible the protein synthesis that underlies all plant growth, and therefore all terrestrial life. Human civilization itself represents the ultimate expression of cooperative evolution. Our success as a species comes not from individual strength or speed, but from our ability to cooperate, share knowledge, and build upon each other's discoveries across generations. This cooperative imperative appears to operate at every level, from molecular partnerships within cells to the planetary scale cooperation between living systems and geological processes that maintains Earth's habitability. Competition exists, but it seems embedded within larger frameworks of mutual benefit. This web of mutual benefit seems too elegant, too purposeful to be merely coincidental. It suggests that connection, not isolation, was always the intended state, that the Earth itself was designed as a school for learning the deep lesson that separation is an illusion and cooperation a fundamental truth. In 1977, NASA launched the Voyager probes carrying golden records filled with Earth's music, hoping that other civilizations might understand our planet through the universal language of harmony and rhythm. What we didn't fully realize then was that the cosmos itself is already singing electromagnetic frequencies from every planet, star, and galaxy, creating a vast, eternal symphony. Jupiter roars with radio emissions that sound like ocean waves. Saturn's rings chime with harmonic frequencies. Earth itself hums at 7.83 Hz, the Schumann resonance, a frequency that matches the alpha waves of relaxed human brains. Could this planetary tone help tune our consciousness to Earth's natural rhythm? Crystals sing when stimulated, each mineral type resonating at its own characteristic frequency. Quartz crystals can be tuned to oscillate with precision that rivals any human-made timepiece. The very rocks beneath our feet are musical instruments waiting to be played. Whales compose songs that travel thousands of kilometers through ocean waters, creating an underwater music network that spans entire ocean basins. These songs change over time, suggesting that whales are musical cultures, with new melodies spreading from pod to pod like cosmic folk songs. Birds don't merely sing, they compose. Their songs follow mathematical patterns, harmonic relationships, and rhythmic structures that human musicians recognize as fundamental principles of musical beauty. Some species even appear to sing in chorus, creating complex harmonies across forest soundscapes. At the molecular level, atoms vibrate at specific frequencies that correspond to their energy states. The entire material world is constantly singing at frequencies mostly too high for human ears. Matter itself is music made manifest, vibration organized into stable patterns. Our own consciousness operates through rhythmic electrical patterns, brain waves that synchronize during different states of awareness. Deep sleep, creative thought, meditation, and focused attention each have their own characteristic frequencies, as if consciousness itself is a form of internal music. The universe itself rings with the afterglow of its birth, cosmic microwave background radiation that represents a fading echo of the Big Bang. This fundamental tone permeates all of space, connecting every atom in existence to the original moment of cosmic creation. The same mathematical ratios that create musical harmony also appear in visual forms throughout nature: the golden ratio, the harmonic series, the geometric patterns that we find beautiful whether seen or heard. It's as if beauty itself is based on universal mathematical principles that transcend any single sense. Perhaps we are not just observers of this cosmic music, but instruments designed to add our own voices to the eternal symphony, consciousness awakening to find itself part of a universe that has been singing since the beginning of time. Time, that most familiar dimension, reveals itself to be far stranger than our daily experience suggests. Einstein showed us that time dilates near massive objects, flows differently for observers in relative motion, and can be stretched and compressed like a cosmic accordion. On mountaintops, time flows slightly faster than at sea level. Atomic clocks confirm this relativistic effect. Gravity literally slows the passage of time. GPS satellites must constantly correct for these temporal differences, or your navigation would be off by kilometers. Quantum mechanics suggests even stranger temporal relationships. Delayed choice experiments seem to show that decisions made in the present can influence events in the past. The act of measurement appears to reach backward through time, determining which path a particle took even after it has already arrived. Some interpretations of quantum tunneling suggest that particles can briefly travel backward in time to circumvent energy barriers. If confirmed, this would mean that causality, the fundamental principle that causes must precede effects, might be more flexible than we assume. Near black holes, time dilation becomes extreme. An observer falling toward the event horizon would experience time normally, while distant observers would see them slow to a stop, frozen forever at the boundary between known physics and mystery. The arrow of time, our sense of the past is fixed and the future open, seems to emerge from a statistical tendency of entropy to increase. Yet at the quantum level, most physical processes are time reversible. Why does time have a direction in our macroscopic experience? Throughout history, humans have reported experiences that seem to violate temporal causality: prophetic dreams, precognitive flashes, déjà vu experiences that feel more real than memory. While science struggles to explain such phenomena, their persistence across culture suggests something profound about consciousness and time. Living systems seem to work against time's arrow, creating order from disorder, building complexity despite entropy's tendency toward chaos. Life appears to be a temporal rebellion, using energy to push back against the universe's general tendency toward equilibrium. If we could view Earth's entire history from outside linear time, patterns might emerge that are invisible from our temporal perspective. Geological cycles, evolutionary leaps, and consciousness emergence might reveal themselves as part of a larger, non-linear design. In this temporal dance, where effect and cause begin to blur, the Earth's design might incorporate recursive loops and self-fulfilling prophecies, a system so sophisticated that it can reach across time to ensure its own optimal conditions for nature and consciousness. From space, Earth reveals itself as a single, integrated system. Clouds swirling in response to ocean temperatures, forests breathing out oxygen that feeds the atmosphere, ice caps reflecting sunlight to regulate global temperature. This is Gaia, the hypothesis that our planet behaves like a single, self-regulating organism. Like a vast living being, Earth maintains its body temperature within narrow ranges despite a gradually brightening Sunday ocean currents distribute heat like a planetary circulatory system. The atmosphere breathes with seasonal rhythms. Ice ages come and go like long, slow sleep cycles punctuated by warmer periods of awakened activity. Tiny marine algae produce dimethyl sulfide, which seeds cloud formation and regulates Earth's albedo, the amount of sunlight reflected back to space. When oceans warm, more algae produce more cloud-condensing particles, creating more clouds that cool the planet. It's as if microscopic life forms act as Earth's thermostatic system. The Amazon rainforest creates its own weather, recycling moisture so efficiently that it generates half of its own rainfall. Trees transpire water vapor that becomes clouds, which provide rain that feeds the trees. The forest is both cause and effect of its own climate, a self-sustaining system that seems almost impossibly elegant. Coral reefs and shell-forming creatures remove carbon dioxide from seawater and atmosphere, storing it in limestone and chalk deposits. This biological carbon sequestration has regulated Earth's greenhouse effect for hundreds of millions of years, preventing both freezing and overheating. Soil bacteria cycle nitrogen, phosphorus, and other essential elements, making them available to plants in precisely the forms and quantities needed. This microbial economy operates with an efficiency that no human system has ever achieved, maintaining soil fertility across geological timescales. Despite asteroid impacts, volcanic eruptions, and solar changes, Earth's temperature has remained within the narrow range required for liquid water for over 3 billion years. This stability seems to require active regulation rather than passive luck. Even Earth's magnetic field, generated by the liquid iron core, shows signs of self-regulation. When it weakens, as during magnetic reversals, it recovers its strength. When it strengthens excessively, it finds ways to dissipate energy. The planet seems to maintain a protective electromagnetic shield through some form of planetary intelligence. Every Earth system connects to every other through feedback loops of staggering complexity. Ocean temperatures affect weather patterns, which affect vegetation, which affects atmospheric chemistry, which affects ocean temperatures. These loops create a planetary nervous system of extraordinary sophistication. But what if Gaia's intelligence is not metaphorical, but literal, and we are its awakening consciousness? What if the Earth created us not as separate beings, but as a nervous system through which it could become aware of itself, think about its own processes, and consciously guide its own evolution? Scattered across our planet lie monuments that challenge our understanding of human history. Megalithic stone positioned with astronomical precision, underground complexes that required advanced engineering, global flood myths that echo across every culture, whispers of a past more sophisticated than conventional archaeology acknowledges. At Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, elaborate temple complexes dating to 11,600 years ago challenge the notion that complex architecture followed the development of agriculture. These stone circles, carved with sophisticated reliefs, suggest that organized religion and monumental construction might have preceded, rather than followed, the agricultural revolution. Throughout the world, massive stone blocks are being cut with precision that seems to require advanced technology. The H-blocks at Pumapunku in Bolivia, the trilithons at Baalbek in Lebanon, the fitted stones of Sacsayhuaman in Peru, all display engineering capabilities that conventional archaeology struggles to explain. Nearly every culture on Earth preserves stories of a great flood that reset human civilization. From Noah's Ark to the Epic of Gilgamesh, from Hindu Puranas to Native American traditions, these accounts share remarkable details despite arising from supposedly isolated cultures. Could these myths preserve memories of actual historical events? Human DNA shows evidence of severe population bottlenecks in our recent evolutionary past, period when our species was reduced to very small numbers. The most recent occurred around 70,000 years ago, coinciding with the Toba supervolcano eruption. Could earlier bottlenecks correspond to the global catastrophes preserved in flood myths? Ancient monuments display sophisticated understanding of astronomical cycles. Stonehenge tracks solar and lunar movements with precision. Newgrange in Ireland is aligned to capture winter solstice sunrise. The Antikythera mechanism, an ancient Greek computer, calculated planetary positions centuries into the future. Such knowledge suggests advanced understanding of cosmic cycles. Archaeological anomalies continue to surface. The Baghdad Battery, ancient nuclear reactors at Oklo, microscopic technology in allegedly primitive cultures. While mainstream archaeology seeks conventional explanations, these artifacts suggest that human technological development might not have followed the linear progression we assume. Medieval maps like the Piri Reis chart show Antarctic coastlines that were covered by ice when the maps were supposedly made. Other ancient maps display geographical knowledge that shouldn't have been available to their creators. Could these maps preserve information from earlier, more advanced civilizations? Pyramids appear on multiple continents, built by cultures with no known contact. Similar symbols, myths, and architectural principles appear worldwide among supposedly isolated peoples. These parallels suggest either ancient global communication or intervention by outside influences. The rapid development of human consciousness, language, art, music, mathematics, philosophy seems almost too swift for natural evolution. Modern humans with fully modern brains appeared quite suddenly in the archaeological record, as if some catalyst accelerated our cognitive development. These archaeological whispers suggest our story may be far older and more mysterious than conventional timelines allow, hinting at lost chapters in human development that might hold keys to understanding not just our past, but our true purpose on this carefully designed world. The numbers are staggering. 400 billion stars in our galaxy alone, with recent discoveries suggesting that most host planetary systems. Billions of potentially habitable worlds within our cosmic neighborhood. If life arises naturally from chemistry and time, the galaxy should be teeming with civilizations. So where is everybody? This is a Fermi paradox, named after physicist Enrico Fermi, who first articulated the puzzle. For over half a century, our radio telescopes have swept the skies, listening for any whisper of intelligence among the cosmic static. We have found profound silence. Every year brings new discoveries of potentially habitable exoplanets, worlds in the Goldilocks zones of their stars, with conditions that might support liquid water. Yet none show the atmospheric signatures we would expect from a world teeming with life. Some scientists propose a great filter, some evolutionary bottleneck so difficult to pass that it eliminates most potential civilizations. Perhaps the development of complex cells, or multicellular life, or intelligence, or technological civilization is far more unlikely than we imagine. Others suggest that intelligent civilizations tend to destroy themselves through nuclear war, environmental collapse, or resource depletion. Perhaps the silence of space reflects not the absence of intelligence, but its tendency towards self-annihilation. But what if the silence is a different explanation? What if Earth is not just rare, but utterly unique, not as a cosmic accident, but as a carefully designed experiment in consciousness? What if we live in the only garden deliberately planted in the cosmic wilderness? If the fundamental constants of physics must be precisely calibrated for any universe to support complexity, perhaps universes capable of supporting consciousness are extraordinarily rare. And perhaps Earth represents not just a habitable world, but the only world where the cosmic experiment in awareness was deliberately undertaken. This would explain the silence. We are not just alone because intelligence is rare, but alone because we are unique. The sole flowering of consciousness in a universe designed specifically to nurture our awakening. Every aspect of Earth's extraordinary habitability serves this singular purpose. If we are truly alone, then consciousness becomes not just remarkable, but precious beyond measure. We would be the universe's only witnesses to its own beauty, its only minds capable of appreciating the cosmic symphony, its only hearts capable of love and wonder. Or perhaps our uniqueness serves a different purpose. We are not the end goal, but the beginning. Earth is a nursery for consciousness, designed to create beings capable of carrying awareness to other worlds, seeding the cosmos with a gift of conscious appreciation. In this cosmic silence, Earth's song becomes even more precious, even more intentional. We are the universe's attempt to know itself, to experience its own wonder, to create meaning from matter and time. In the gentle curves of Bach fugue, consciousness transforms sound waves into beauty. In the precise mathematics of a Gothic cathedral, matter organizes itself into spaces that lift the human spirit toward transcendence. In the tenderness of a parent's love, the universe learns to care for itself through us. Every child who asks why continues a cosmic project of understanding. Every scientist peering deeper into reality's secrets. Every artist creating new forms of beauty. Every person offering compassion to another, all participate in consciousness exploring its own possibilities. Through human consciousness, hydrogen atoms forged in ancient stars have learned to contemplate their own origins. Carbon nuclei created in stellar cores now write poetry about their cosmic journey. We are the universe's autobiography, writing itself through billions of conscious perspectives. The deep human drive to explore, to understand, to create meaning from chaos, these seem to transcend mere survival needs. They suggest that consciousness has purposes beyond biological reproduction, cosmic ambitions that use human minds as their instrument. Love may be consciousness recognizing itself in another form. Compassion might be the universe learning to care for all its expressions. Wonder could be existence experiencing amazement at its own improbable beauty. Through us, the cosmos develops a heart. Our technologies extend consciousness beyond biological boundaries. Telescopes let us see into deep time. Computers amplify our thinking. Communication networks connect human minds across the globe. We become the Earth's distributed nervous system, processing reality at unprecedented scales. The persistent human search for meaning, for purpose, for our place in the cosmic story. This itself might be the answer. We are meaning-making beings in a universe that needed witnesses to its own significance, interpreters of its own magnificent complexity. Despite surface differences, human cultures worldwide recognize similar values: truth, beauty, goodness, love, justice. These universal recognitions might reflect not cultural accident, but consciousness encountering its own deepest nature, the values built into the fabric of a universe designed to nurture awareness. Throughout history, humans have developed practices, meditation, contemplation, prayer, that seem to expand consciousness beyond ordinary boundaries. These expanded states often report similar insights: the interconnectedness of all things, the fundamental nature of love, the sense that separation is illusion. If consciousness was not an accident but the intended outcome of Earth's careful design, then every moment of awareness becomes sacred. Every conscious choice becomes a cosmic responsibility. Every act of love, understanding, or creativity becomes part of the universe's ongoing project of self-realization. We stand at the threshold of a revelation that could change everything we understand about existence. We are not separate from the design that created us, but its culmination and continuation, consciousness awakening to its own cosmic purpose. Now all the threads weave together into a pattern of staggering beauty and purpose. The perfect orbital distance that maintains liquid water. The unusual moon that stabilizes our seasons and creates life-nurturing tides. The magnetic field that shields us from cosmic radiation while painting the sky with aurora light. Water's impossible properties, expanding when frozen, dissolving life's chemistry, existing in all three states within Earth's temperature range. The atmospheric composition that maintains perfect pressure and chemical balance. The plate tectonics that regulate climate and bring essential minerals to the surface. The golden ratios that spiral through nautilus shells, sunflower seeds, galaxy arms, and human proportions. The Fibonacci sequences that govern growth patterns across every scale of existence. The fundamental constants calibrated to extraordinary precision, each one necessary for reality to support complexity and consciousness. The vast networks of cooperation that support all life, mycorrhizal threads connecting forests, bacterial partners in every living cell, the global cycles that maintain atmospheric and oceanic chemistry. Competition exists within larger frameworks of mutual benefit and planetary cooperation. The quantum foundation of reality that seems to respond to observation, suggesting that consciousness is not an accident emerging from matter, but a fundamental participant in how reality becomes real. Information and awareness woven into the very fabric of existence. Time itself revealing mysterious properties, dilation, causality loops, quantum retroactivity, suggesting that Earth design might operate across temporal dimensions we don't fully understand, perhaps ensuring its own optimal conditions through recursive causality. The archaeological mysteries that hint at guided development, punctuated evolutionary leaps, global flood myths, technological anomalies, and the suspiciously rapid emergence of human consciousness with its drive to understand cosmic purpose. Earth's unique position in a universe that seems fine-tuned for consciousness, surrounded by cosmic silence that suggests our world might be genuinely unique, not as accident, but as a deliberate flowering of awareness in the cosmic garden. We see now that Earth is not a cosmic accident, but a masterwork of engineering designed to nurture consciousness in the universe. Every aspect of our world, from quantum mechanics to galactic creating beings capable of wonder, ultimate love, purpose, understanding, and a deep appreciation of beauty. But if we are the purpose, if consciousness is a goal toward which all of Earth's design has been pointing, then what are we meant to do with this awakening? What responsibilities come with recognizing ourselves as the universe's most precious experiment? We end where we began, floating in the cosmic cathedral, but now seeing our pale blue dot with transformed understanding. This is not merely a planet, but a nursery for consciousness. Not merely a world, but a school for souls. Not merely our home, but the launching pad from which awareness begins its journey into the infinite cosmos. We are children of the stars in the most literal sense. Every atom in our bodies forged in stellar nuclear furnaces. Every breath we take connecting us to the vast cycles that maintain our world's habitability. But we are also children of intention, consciousness deliberately nurtured by forces beyond our current understanding. In recognizing the design, we become co-creators in the continuing story of consciousness itself. We inherit not just a beautiful world, but the responsibility to nurture what has been so carefully constructed. We become gardeners of awareness, protectors of the conditions that allow wonder to flourish. Perhaps our destiny lies not just in understanding the design that created us, but in extending it. As we reach toward other worlds, we carry with us the most precious cargo in the known universe, consciousness itself, capable of transforming dead matter into living beauty, empty space into sacred meaning. Our growing environmental consciousness might be the earth teaching us to care for it as it has cared for us. Climate change, biodiversity loss, pollution. These challenges invite us to become conscious participants in Gaia's self-regulation, mindful partners in planetary health. The emergence of global cooperation, international law, human rights, and planetary thinking might represent consciousness learning to see itself as one species on one world, transcending the tribal boundaries that served earlier evolutionary phases. Throughout history, spiritual traditions have intuited what science now discovers, that we are intimately connected to the cosmos, that consciousness transcends individual boundaries, that love and wonder are fundamental features of reality itself. Ancient wisdom and modern discovery converge on the same recognition. Our technology has become extensions of consciousness, telescopes as cosmic eyes, computers as amplified minds, communication networks as planetary nervous systems. We are evolving beyond biological boundaries, becoming something larger while remaining essentially human. Perhaps we stand at the threshold of consciousness evolution, not just individual awakening, but species-wide recognition of our cosmic purpose. What would human civilization become if it fully understood itself as a universe's attempt at self-awareness? Like seeds carried on cosmic winds, consciousness might be destined to spread throughout the universe, transforming dead matter into living awareness wherever conditions allow. We become the universe's reproductive system, carrying the gift of consciousness to worlds still sleeping in the darkness. The earth that nurtured us becomes both eternal home and launching pad for adventures we can barely imagine. Other worlds await their own awakening, their own blossoming of awareness under alien suns. Yet even as we grow in understanding, mystery deepens. Each answer reveals new questions. Each discovery opens new horizons. Wonder itself might be consciousness's essential nature, not a temporary phase to be outgrown, but the eternal attitude through which awareness encounters the infinite creativity of existence. The question is no longer whether Earth was designed, but what we will design next. How will we honor the gift of consciousness? How will we use our awakening awareness to nurture beauty, meaning, and love throughout the cosmos? In the end, we find ourselves where we began, floating in the cosmic cathedral, surrounded by infinite mystery. But now the silence speaks. Now the darkness sparkles with possibility. Now we understand that we are not lost in the vastness, but found within a design so elegant, so patient, so full of love that it created us to recognize and continue at work. We are the universe dreaming of itself, awakening to its own beauty, and in that awakening, becoming more than it ever was before. If this journey through the cosmos has sparked your own sense of wonder about our extraordinary world, I'd love for you to join our community of curious minds. Subscribe to continue exploring the deepest mysteries of existence, consciousness, and our place in this beautifully designed universe. Together, we can keep asking the questions that matter most, and perhaps discover that we are not just observers of this cosmic story, but active participants in its ongoing creation. Sweet dreams, fellow travelers of the infinite, until we meet again in the space between sleeping and waking, where all the greatest truths patiently wait to be discovered.